Now we see
Morning.
prison guards across France who have, gone on strike today. What exactly is the country doing to deal with radicals that are sitting in prisons?
Well, first of all, this strike is not the first time that prison warders have come out and taken industrial action to protest what they say is not enough action being taken by the French state to invest in the necessary means to control these very dangerous and very violent prisoners. Just one figure that's been given in the last 24 hours by Force Ouvrière and the CGT, the two unions who called the strike, was that 90,000 different objects were found in French prisons over the past year, objects that shouldn't be in there. And why this knife got in is because the checks, the body searches, are not carried out by visiting members of family. They only go through a metal detector, and this being a ceramic knife, it didn't ring any bells. So that's how she managed to bring the knife in, or what they think. What is France doing? Well, they have got 3 high security prisons for Islamist people who are radicalized in the country. One is this one in Condé-sur-Sarthe that was where this incident happened yesterday. There's one in the north of France in Lille, and another one is currently being made here in Paris at the Prison de la Santé. This is to put those who are considered a danger into their own unit, where there will be 35 places. If once they're analysed after 4 months, they're found to be extremely dangerous, and those radicals are put into completely solitary confinement. But it is a big job. There's 1,600 radicalised prisoners in French jails, and the reason for this strike today, as I was saying, is because many of the prison warders say they don't have the necessary means. There's not enough of them, first of all, and they don't have the necessary equipment to be able to deal with these kind of attacks. For example, proper jackets they need to wear to be able to protect themselves against knife attacks.
So all these questions being, posed at the same time that France is grappling with what to do with all those ISIS fighters that are sitting in Syria and Iraq now that the so-called caliphate has ended, and their brides.
That's true. If you look at the figures, 40,000 foreign nationals are believed to have joined the Islamic State since 2014. 1,700 of those were French. Of that, 450 were killed, and another 300 have already come back to France. But that leaves a lot who are still there who would like to come back. Now, the problem is, what do they do with these people? The French authorities, starting with President Emmanuel Macron, have said they don't want these fighters to come back, and they're quite willing for them to be tried in Iraqi courts and to suffer the consequences if they are found guilty, which might even mean the death penalty. And buoying that opinion is public opinion in France, which definitely doesn't want these fighters to come back, because France has been, as we all know, the victim of a series of terrorist attacks over the past few years, with like the Bataclan attack in 2015, which left over 130 people dead. And there certainly is not much sympathy for these Islamist fighters who are French nationals in Iraq and in Syria who would like to come back now, because they fear that if they are brought back and they go into jail, they will be seen as heroes by those who are radicalized in prison already, and then that will increase their desire, once they get out of jail, to commit more terrorist attacks. So it's really not very easy. But France is coming under a lot of criticism from around the world for not taking these prisoners back. It's one of the only countries so far that's refusing to do so.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that, Philip Turle there.